The questions about those cases where you had the priest who changed the words, instead of I baptize you, we baptize you, and again, with someone who was older, they might have been baptized when it was Latin. You didn't have to worry, I said, you didn't have to worry about such things because most people are not Latin scholars and they're not going to look up how to change the verbs to make it first person plural and things. And his question was, well, wouldn't the desire for baptism fix everything even if they used the wrong words? The answer to that is no. And the reason for that is this. Baptism by desire is only for people who desire the baptism and have no possible way of getting it. If you've gone to the church and the priest is crazy and says the wrong things, it's not the same thing.
But they're children.
They're children, but their parents aren't. The parents could have said, this isn't right, and they could have maybe gone to a different church if they were worried about it. The child has no choice in the matter because it's a child. But if the parents are listening and it's like, you didn't use the right words, it's kind of like when you go to confession and the priest is like, oh, you don't need a penance. Oh, you do need a penance for confession. Or if they make up the words, like for example, I was once at a church, and when I went to confession, the priest said, I'm just making it up, I'm making this up using the words that he said. And I, by the power invested in me by the Holy Roman Catholic Church, absolve you of your sins. It's like, you did not use the formula that we use. You are possibly invalidating the confession because the priest is crazy. In those instances, what did I do? I went to another priest and confessed again. Because I wanted my sins forgiven. I didn't want to play games with my salvation. So, in those events, they've tried to contact all of the families and things and tell them, and if people had died between when they were baptized and when they discovered what was going on, if people had died, God would take care of it. Because remember, God is not limited by the sacraments. We are, but not God. God gave us the sacraments to help us. So if someone dies before they realize what's going on, God will take that into consideration. They didn't choose the craziness. Their parents could have said something, but the parents could have been crazy too. How many times do parents get their children baptized and never bring them back to church until it's time for First Communion? You say, as part of the baptism rite, I promise you, God, that I'm going to raise my child in the faith according to what the church teaches. You say that, and then you have no intention of bringing them to church or raising them in the faith. Do you think God will take care of it? Yes. But sometimes the parents didn't say anything because the parents don't go to church and don't know what it's supposed to be. I hate to say it that way. But some people, you only see baptism, First Communion, confirmation, in the hospital, and in the funeral. That's their experience of church. God will take care of it.